Hi, welcome to Habas Kitchen. Today's video is going to be the first part of hopefully 3 or 4 Christmas recipes that we're going to share with you this year. We believe that Christmas should be for sharing and spending time with our family and loved ones. So for that reason, we thought we would share this one with you together.
With mulled wine, of course.
So we're getting in the Christmas spirit. As you can see, waistcoat, starry dress. So here we go. We're going to share with you today so cheers. So that is going to be
our vegan gingerbread cookies.
So you're probably wondering, who's behind the camera this time? Well, I can show you. I took some footage before we started shooting. Do let us know how he's doing.
So this recipe is great to just get you in the festive mood, makes the house smell lovely and Christmassy, and also it can make a really nice homemade low waste gift too. I actually made it for Simon last Christmas.
Tried to.
At first it ended up looking like a total Pinterest fail, so good luck.
So should we talk about the ingredients first?
Yes, so to get started, we'll show you the ingredients now. And as you can see on the screen, we've got a couple of key ingredients. So we've got the flax egg, we'll show you how to make that a little later on today. For the molasses, we are using the syrup version, but you can get a sugar version in most supermarkets as well.
You would find that if you use the crystallised sugar version, the cookies will probably develop cracks during the baking. So that's why if you can get hold of the syrup, try to use that.
Yeah, you can find it obviously online, or you can find it in places such as Holland and Barrett as well.
And then obviously for the icing's optional. You could just have the cookies on their own, but we're going to have a go at icing today. We'll show you how to do that. We're using oat milk. We're using the sort of barista type because that hopefully will blend with the sugar better than just a normal milk would.
So there's also a few things that you need. You're going to need 2 mixing bowls.
Oh, that's where I come in.
An electric whisk.
Bowls and a whisk.
You're also going to need a rolling pin, 2 baking trays, and of course some cookie cutters as well.
Brilliant. So should we make a start then?
Yeah, let's get started.
Right, let's get our aprons on. Cheers.
Cheers. So first of all, we're going to prepare our flax eggs. So Simon, if you could please do the honours.
Yeah. So all it is a tablespoon of ground flax seeds, or flax meal as it's sometimes called. So it's one tablespoon of the seeds, and then 3 tablespoons of just tap water. So all we have to do is combine those, give them a quick stir, and then just leave them for 5 minutes. So that all that will do, it will thicken up. The seeds will just absorb the water, and it will just appear like the insides of an egg. So leave that for 5 minutes, and we'll come back to it.
Okay. In the meantime, we're going to start combining our wet ingredients. So we've got the 1/4 cup of butter. Then we're adding 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Yeah.
So this is dark brown sugar that we've got. You can use light brown, obviously it will just affect the overall colour of the cookies when you're finished.
Next we're going to add molasses, which is 1/3 cup. And just to warn you, this is basically like treacle, so...
It's very thick.
Yeah.
It's actually quite good for you, better than most syrups. It contains quite a lot of minerals, some vitamins as well, B6 I think.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a health food, but it's better than most of the syrups that you can buy.
Thank you. and then it's the half teaspoon of vanilla.
So just while that's all going, I'm going to prepare the electric whisk. So that's all plugged in. So that's it, so we're just waiting for the egg now, yeah?
Yep.
Good.
So while we're waiting for the egg, we're just going to preheat our oven. It's 180 degrees or 160 fan assisted. Thank you.
And obviously just one thing to remember, because we're using two trays of cookies, you need to just position your shelves accordingly. So this is what your flax egg should look like when it's ready. It's sort of almost like one solid body, and that's ready to go in. Drop that straight in there. Okay, so we're ready just to start whisking that all together now. Okay, so you could probably see that that's quite thick. That's what it's meant to be like, and it's almost like a sort of Angel Delight sort of mixture. So it's sort of sugary, rich, yeah, and almost like toffee, I suppose, like molten toffee.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking for. I'm going to give it a little bit more of a whisk now. Good, so that's done. So it only needs a couple of minutes or so just to combine it all.
We're just going to set the wet ingredients to the side for now. And we're going to start with our dry ingredients. Starting with the 2 cups of flour. Next, we're adding our 1 teaspoon, of bicarbonate of soda.
So that's a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'll do that. It's just a couple of turns of the salt mill.
Then it's 1 tablespoon of ginger.
Now you can obviously adjust this. If you don't like a strong gingery flavour, then obviously don't make gingerbread. You can just reduce it to maybe 2 teaspoons or so if you want a more neutral flavour.
Then it's 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Then it's a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. And a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice.
Okay, so we then just combine all of that just with a wooden spoon. I think that's ready to go in.
Yeah. So we're going to bring our wet ingredients back in. And we're basically just going to drop all of our flour into the wet ingredients bowl. And then you just start mixing it all in together.
So this is where it gets a little bit, it starts to get a little bit tough. The more it combines, the tougher it gets. But that is what you're looking for, a nice sort of tough dough. And it does take some time to come together, so don't be alarmed if it seems quite sort of floury still.
I lack the arm muscles for this, so I'm going to pass over to Simon.
Time for me to take over. This is the only reason you wanted to shoot this together, isn't it?
Yep.
Actually, what I like to do is, once it gets to this sort of stage, so there's no sort of loose flour, but it's not sort of fully combined, I actually like to just get my hand in there at this point, because you can then just start sort of crushing it together, almost, bring it together like a bread dough.
And the heat from your hand will start to smooth out the dough as well, and just combine it that bit better.
And you can just use it to sort of mop up any loose ingredients on the side of the bowl. And it's together like that. So we can just chuck that over there.
Yeah, of course.
We can bring that onto the clean worktop. Yeah, and just turn it around a few times. And you're just sort of flattening it out and stretching it a little bit. Okay, so I'd say that's about ready to start rolling out now. You can see it's got a bit of a sort of glossy finish on it now. That's where, as Laura said, the heat, sort of the warmth from my hands softened it and just enabled us to sort of manipulate it how we, the way that we need it to be. So you're going to roll that out, aren't you?
Yeah.
You'll notice that we've left the flour out, so we're going to flour the surface. I'll be in charge of the flour. You be in charge of the rolling pin.
Thank you.
So it needs to be a little bit of flour, just enough so that it doesn't stick. And spread it out quite a long way because this will roll out a long way. And we're going to roll it out to about 1/4 inch or 1/2 centimetre.
Good thing to do as well is to just quickly flour your rolling pin as well, just to make sure that it doesn't stick. So you will want to move it around a bit. Just make sure that it doesn't stick to one area.
And don't be alarmed if it sort of gets a bit crumbly or if you start to see some cracks. It's generally quite mouldable, it will go where you want it to. So we don't want to roll it any more than that really. That's about ready for cutting. If you want to start doing the cutting,
Yeah.
and I'll prepare the trays.
Okay. So you want to get as much as you can out of the cuts. Always best to just give it a little bit of a wiggle. There we go.
And obviously just try and get as much as you can out of each roll because you don't want to keep rolling it and bunching it up and rolling it again. Eventually it'll just get too soft to use. So if you want to start gathering up all the spares, I will put these onto the baking tray. If you don't have enough baking trays and you need to sort of do more than one load in the oven, then you'll just need to chill. Still continue to cut them out of the dough, but just chill them while the ovens are baking so that they don't lose their form or go too soft. Okay, you good?
Okay.
For me to roll this next one?
Yeah, go for it. I'll just combine it back together. Okay.
Okay, just make sure it's not sticking. And away we go. That's because I didn't put any flour on the rolling pin.
Grab another big gingerbread man.
I reckon we'll get one more roll out of that.
Yeah, do you want to pop them on the tray and I'll grab the scraps?
Yeah. So now, obviously it's time to bake them. The oven is ready to go. So we're going to put them in for 10 to 12 minutes. Obviously that's 10 minutes if you like them a little bit softer, and just leave them for a couple of extra minutes if you like a little bit of a crunch to your cookies. Okay, ready to go.
Lovely.
It's a good idea now to make the icing if you're doing it. And what that means is while that's all baking, we can then just chill the icing. So we'll now show you how to make that.
Yeah.
We'll just have a quick tidy up. So as I just said, while the cookies are in the oven, we're going to prepare the icing. So we've got the ingredients, we've got the cup of icing sugar, got the oat milk, and we've got the vanilla essence, and a jug to mix it in. And a bit later, something we didn't mention at the start is we're going to need like a piping kit. So we've got this is like a bag with a nozzle. We can show you how to use that shortly. So just to start with, we'll just drop the sugar straight into the jug. And need a spoon to give it a shake. As I said, we're using the oat milk. We've tried it with almond milk before.
Just makes it a bit runny. The oat milk is just slightly thicker. You can use soy milk as an alternative as well.
And that's for the vanilla. It's important to work quite quickly on this. You don't want that sugar just to absorb the milk only where you've put it there. You need to just get it combined straight away. So give it a good stir, just use a fork. And you'll see very quickly that it comes together and it is quite stiff.
Yeah, you want it to be slightly thicker, just so that then when you're actually creating different shapes and stuff, it holds. Yeah, that looks just about right. So when you lift your fork up, it should form into peaks as well. So that's the thing that you want to look out for.
See, it's not dropping off the end of the fork.
But that's what you want, so that when you're icing it, it will hold.
Okay, so that's that. So we're going to just keep that chilled. So we're obviously not going to ice it straight away when the cookies come out of the oven. We'll give them, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes just to cool down a little bit, otherwise they will melt the icing. So let them cool down to sort of, I don't know, room temperature, and then you can get this out of the fridge and ice it. So we'll see you in probably 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So they're out of the oven now. And we're ready to start icing. So to prepare the piping bag, all we need to do is just snip the end off, which will leave a hole, and the hole just wants to be big enough for the nozzle to drop into but not fall all the way through. So you can just measure it by eye, and I usually try and make the very tip of the bag about halfway along the nozzle, and you can just mark it with your finger and then literally just cut it off. Then we can just push the nozzle all the way through the bag. That. So obviously next we've got the icing, we just need to transfer the icing from the jug into the bag. So if you'd be kind enough to hold that. There we are, so that's most of that in there. So it will find its way to the bottom eventually. What we're going to do, just to get it ready, just sort of drop it on the table like that. Just need to, as if you're sort of wringing the toothpaste down the toothpaste tube, just try and chase it down to the very bottom, but without letting it actually seep out of the nozzle. So once you've got it all sort of evenly dispersed around the bag, you can then just start to sort of twist it up and get it into a position. You just sort of need to curl it around your fingers really. I think there is a proper way of doing it, but I've never taken the time to sort of read any of these instructions, so I just do it how I'm comfortable, and I just basically just curl it up so that I can use it like a pen, and then just so you can just see it's coming out of the end. So if I do that, that will stay on my finger and it's not going to go anywhere, so that's the right sort of consistency. I think we're ready to go.
Yeah.
I assume I'm doing it as I've got it in my hand.
Yeah, you can start. So we'll just grab one of our gingerbread men.
Okay. So what comes first in the face? You want the eye? The second eye, preferably. And then does he have a nose?
No, just do a smiley face.
Just a smiley mouth.
Yeah.
Like that.
Perfect.
Should we do some buttons?
Yes.
As you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble when trying to sort of let go of it once it's come out, but that's just, I'd rather it was like that than adding too much liquid to it, because then it just runs everywhere and it doesn't set how you want it to. But we've got it just like that. So
I have a go?
Yeah, you have a go.
Yeah?
So I started to run out then, so I think it's a good idea just to, as I said, sort of toothpaste it. Try and just force all of it down, but without actually dripping any out.
Right, wish me luck. Okay.
That's it. That's going to be, yeah, perfect. Okay. And he's got a big smiley face. That must be Lara. If you draw one upside down, then it's Simon.
There we go. Ooh. I'll just give him 2 buttons because that's quite big.
He's smaller, isn't he? He's a
He's
child.
a little bit diddy.
Children's clothes only have 2 buttons, so the men's clothes have 3 buttons.
And we'll just grab heart.
As I said, you can get creative. You can do different patterns. You can even use colouring gels to use different colours of the icing. That works pretty well. Do try to use the gels if you're doing that. Don't use dye because that will obviously make it a bit more runny. The gels allow you to keep the consistency.
Just going to do a couple of
Oh, we're adding dots now.
dots. Oh, the next dot hasn't gone so well, but it's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a bit of fun. There we go. Just add one more.
Okay, so we've done a couple each now. We're just going to go through the rest of these. We won't make you watch that.
Sit and watch all of it.
So we're gonna, we'll get on with that and we'll see you at the end. So we're about finished there.
Yeah, all done.
As you can see, we've got a nice array of gingerbread men, gingerbread hearts,
Yes.
even a limited edition Habasque gingerbread heart.
Okay.
So the icing, obviously, as you can see, it goes on pretty well and it solidifies, it sort of sets straight away. So the first ones that we put on are now sort of, they're solid. So you can sort of touch them and that doesn't move them. But yeah, so they're ready to go. You can store them. They probably last about a week. We've only have had them for sort of 4 days in this house. They don't tend to last that long. But they will last if you store them in a tin, or I think when you gifted them to me for Christmas.
Yeah, I popped them into a glass jar, just an airtight container basically works just as well. So yeah.
No need to chill them or anything, so they're good to go. So that brings us to the end of the recipe, the end of the first part of our Christmas specials. There's one thing left to do, and that's to try one. Should we just go halves on this one?
Go for it.
Because we always share our food.
That's good.
Pretty good. So it's nice. It's a little bit crunchy, which is quite good in almost like a ginger nut biscuit. So that's quite good. So obviously, if you don't want it to have quite a crunch, just leave it in for sort of 10 minutes or so. We gave them the full 12 minutes.
So we hope you enjoyed today's recipe. Please tag us in any pictures of any creations that you make with our gingerbread recipe. And obviously don't forget to like and subscribe and leave any feedback in the comment section down below. And we look forward to seeing you on our next Christmas video.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye. Should we eat one?
Yeah, I'm going to eat one of these.
Yeah, let's eat a little one.
Okay.
Just to show everyone that we do eat our food.
We do. Can you not tell?
So it's nice. It's got a nice crunch to it. So we left it in for 12 minutes. That's worked really well. What?
What are you doing?
Oh.
I can't believe I shoved that all in.